Hello, welcome out to Hart Park here in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. My name is Simon Provan. I am your play-by-play analyst for FC Milwaukee Torrent. It's going to be a hot one today. It's already 84 degrees, possibly getting up to about 87, 88 degrees before this match is over today. So we will see how these players handle the heat. The Torrent welcome in the Midwest Select Muskrats SA. Muskrats' first ever game in the WPSL. Alyssa and Jamie McNicholas are the owners of this team, and this is, as I said, their very first year in the WPSL. They are excited to be up here in Milwaukee, coming to us from St. John's, Indiana. With a new team, it's always a bit difficult for a head coach of the hosting team to determine how this outcome could look like, but we will see. I know Coach Andy Davi was able to watch a couple of scrimmages by the Muskrats. He does have a couple of players that he said he needs to look out for, but he wouldn't name who those players are. So we shall see who he tells his players who to handle out there against the Muskrats. Looking at the WPSL standings in the Central Region, Midwest Conference, Lake Michigan Division, well, the Torrent are on top. They played against Bavarian United just a few days ago. They won that derby match 3-0. And of course, Andy Davi was very happy with that victory, as were the players. Players of the game from that one, with her shutout and making tremendous saves, especially in the first half, was Mickey Easter. Mickey had said after the game all credit was due to her defense. And while Mickey was a bit humble in that interview, one thing was for sure: if not for a goal line save by Bonnie Lacey in the dying moments of that game, the Torrent would have not had finished with that shutout against Bavarian United. The co-player of that match was Elsie Twombly. Twombly, of course, with a brace on the day, scoring two fantastic goals, one in which her second one, Haley Johnson, looked like she was going to grab possession of the ball, got taken out from behind, but Twombly quickly grabbed the ball from Johnson. Referee called advantage for the Torrent, and Twombly, of course, took full advantage by putting the ball in the back of the net. And again, Haley Johnson had mentioned her before. She got things going for the Torrent with the first goal of the game. Johnson had spent the past 3 years with Chicago Red Stars, playing in 2 of those years because, of course, one season being canceled because of COVID. But Haley Johnson doing to Bavarian United what she did when she was with the Red Stars, and that is punishing that defense with any mistakes that they made. Well, as I mentioned, it's going to be a hot one today. We have artificial turf out here at Hart Park, which will probably raise the temperature even more. It's been in the 60s, 50s for most of May here in Wisconsin. So as I said, we'll have to see how the players handle this heat. WPSL does have unlimited substitutions, so I won't be surprised if, as the game goes on, we see quite a bit of substitutions. We're going to take a break now from our pregame, and we will see you on the other side. Once again, you are watching FC Milwaukee Torrent live stream. I'm Simon Provan. Happy to have you here. Welcome back to Hart Park here in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, as we get ready for this Women's Premier Soccer League match. Muskrats making their debut in the WPSL. Torrent hosting their second home game of the year, having defeated Bavarian United 3-0 just a few days ago. Just getting prepped here for the team walkouts, after which we will hear the starting lineups from our PA man, Dylan Dooley. And we'll do our national anthem after that, and then, of course, we will be ready to go. Your officiating crew for the day, your referee in the center, Dylan Seitz. AR1 is Corey Beecher. AR2, Steve Bagan. And the fourth official is Gary Klump. So for you folks, as you're watching here on the TV, AR1 will be the one nearest us. AR2 is the one farther away from us. Four very experienced referees. We've already seen Corey Beecher and Steve Bagan here this year, but we've seen a lot of Dylan Seitz at Hart Park through the years, as well as Gary Klump, and we welcome all four of those gentlemen to the pitch today. Looking at the rest of the standings, not much to be said, really. Talked about FC Milwaukee Torrent being on top of the standings in the Lake Michigan division. Chicago Kicks in second place. They've only played one game. That was a 0-0 draw against Bavarian United. And Bavarian United also have 1 point, but that's out of 2 games. Of course, they had that loss to FC Milwaukee Torrent, and they had that draw with Chicago Kicks. Then the teams not necessarily in last place, because neither of them have played a game. Chicago Dutch Lions, and the team you're going to see today on the other side of the pitch, Midwest Select SA Muskrats. In many ways, this is a competition between many Division I players for the Torrent, and on the other side, many Division II and NAIA players. But don't be fooled by that. There are plenty of skilled players on the Muskrats. Just doing some research, a lot of players in their high school days were ranked very high, both in Indiana and Illinois. And some putting up some good numbers where they play college. Of course, we will get much more into that during today's broadcast. If you're just tuning in, my name is Simon Provan, your host today on the Milwaukee Torrent live stream, as we welcome the Midwest Select Muskrats SA. Well, let's turn it over now to Dylan Dooley to announce the starting 11 for both clubs.
Fans, here are your first 11s. Let's begin with the visitors, the Muskrats. Number 1, Olivia Kint. Number 2, Audrey Filippo. Number 5, Kaylin Smith. Number 6, Olivia Hansen. Number 10, Olivia Small. Number 12, Kelly Schaefer. Number 17, Kaylee Evers. Number 18, Emily Carter. Number 23, Alex Skinner. Number 24, Haley Sanders. Number 25, Ella Scott. Muskrats are coached by Omar Gallo. Assisted by Kaylin Sadler, David Bach, and goalkeeper coach Chloe Kane. Introducing your FC Milwaukee Torrent. The starter in goal, number 1, Mickey Easter. Number 9, Lola Wojcik. Number 10, Lainey Higgins. Number 11, Shannon McWilliams. Number 12, Ryan Locante. Number 13, Bonnie Lacey. Number 14, Mia Hurdle. Number 23, Elsie Twombly. Number 21, Kenzie Balsaric. Number 24, Haley Johnson. And your captain, my captain, number 31, Kelly Swenson. Head coach of the Milwaukee Torrent, Andreas Davi. Training services today are provided by Paige Borst. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you do please rise to honor America and all that it stands for, and those who are protecting and serving for our freedoms. We'll be playing the national anthem.
Well, there you have it. Starting 11s have been announced. National anthem played. Fist bumps, high fives being given by each team and the referees. We're excited to have a beautiful day here in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Bright and sunny. A bit of a breeze going against the whichever team lines up on our left side here on the camera. Always exciting to see a team make their debut in any competition. Midwest Select Muskrats SA is that team today. Coached by Omar Gallo, with assistants Kaylin Sadler, David Bach, and goalkeeper coach Chloe Kane. On the other side, of course, FC Milwaukee Torrent women's kicked off in 2018. Had a mixed season last year. Interesting, entered the last game with a possibility, of course a lot had to go right that day, but a possibility of finishing in first. But when it was all said and done, finished in fourth place. And certainly wanted to start out strong. They did this year, downing crosstown rival Bavarian United in a shutout. Much credit to Mickey Easter, who is in goal today. We'll see if she can keep these streaks alive as far as shutouts. Always nice when you look at the stat sheet and you see your goalkeeper's goals against average being 0. That is the most ideal stat for a goalkeeper. And of course, she does have a very strong defense in front of her. Andy Davi electing to use the same starting 11 as he used against Bavarian United. And why mess with success? Coming out in a 4-3-3. And on the other side, it looks like it may be a 3-4-3. There are some players on the Muskrats who play both defensively and in midfield officially. So we'll see how they actually do line up. One player to keep an eye on today on the Muskrats is number 18, Emily Carter. She is a senior over at Indiana Wesleyan University, and she has been an important part of that team since her freshman year. In fact, over her career, she's played in 52 games, 37 of those starts, 6 goals for that team, and she helped lead the team to an Elite 8 tournament appearance in the National NAIA tournament. Again, Emily Carter, number 18. We will have to keep our eyes out for her. As we await the first kick here. It does, in fact, look like we're seeing more of a 4-3-3 out of the Muskrats. Was talking to owners of the Muskrats, Alyssa McNichols and Jamie. Both very excited to have this team, from what I understand. Jamie spent some time in the PDL, back in the PDL days, so he's familiar with this type of level of play. And wanted to start a team of his own, wanted to give area college players an opportunity to continue their training and play during the summer months. Very similar to what Andy Davi wanted as well, bringing the highest level of women's soccer at that time in 2018 to the Milwaukee area. Still the highest level, but now joined by Bavarian United, of course. McWilliams plays this outside. Hurdle wins this ball, sends it forward, where it is quickly intercepted and now out of bounds for a Torrent throw-in. Johnson with the shoulder flick, trying to get that to Twombly. Not able to do so as Kelly Schaefer controls that ball and earns a throw-in for the Muskrats. Alex Skinner with the throw. Hansen trying to keep that ball in bounds. Hansen, the captain for the Muskrats today. Instead, ball goes over the corner. I'm sorry, not the corner. The touchline. Throw in for Milwaukee. McWilliams, who plays her ball at Eastern Illinois University, will handle this throw. Very strong player, McWilliams. And a very strong back line with McWilliams. Callie Swenson, the captain for the Torrent, who's a graduate of UW-Milwaukee. And on the other side of that defense, well, first there's Kenzie Balsaric. It's actually Balsaric that is out of Eastern Illinois University. My apologies to Shannon McWilliams, who plays up in St. Paul, Minnesota, with University of St. Thomas. But finally finishing out that back line, very strong player, Bonnie Lacey. Lacey, one of the many Marquette players on this Milwaukee team. Ball sent up by Caitlin Smith. Again, my apologies there, Caitlin Smith. I'll get all these names right by 89th minute or so. Free kick for the Muskrats. Not in a dangerous position at the moment, but players lining up all on the left side of the penalty area. Wall does his job, gets a head on it. Ball bouncing around near the top of the box. Milwaukee able to grab possession of the ball as the ball goes all the way back to Olivia Kent. Quint, the lone Quincy University player out on the field today. A red shirt senior. In goal for the Muskrats. Now, ball played into Milwaukee's box. Bonnie Lacey there to apply some pressure. And does enough as that ball goes over the end line for a goal kick for the Torrent. Well, a little shaky here at first for the Torrent. Here in the first 5 minutes of this match. Now, part of it is, again, the Muskrats are a brand new team. And I'm sure the Torrent are taking time to figure out their style of play, how they want to work this ball around. But Torrent have to be careful, as it's been a little loose in the back so far. Kaylin Smith looking to send this ball up a bit too far as Shannon McWilliams watches the ball roll out of bounds for another Milwaukee throw-in. Haley Johnson, flick of her head. Lainey Higgins plays this to her right. Ball sent up looking for Elsie Twombly. Kent coming all the way out of her box to make sure she got a foot on that one. LeConte had the ball momentarily, now trying to apply a pressure. Throw-in for the Muskrats. Audrey Filippo on the throw-in. Muskrats, by the way, out of St. John, Indiana, about 45 minutes east of Chicago. Touched by Lacey. Wojcik. Swenson. Lacey. LeConte. Wojcik once again. Now Torrent being a bit more patient, as we saw against Bavarian United. No need to force anything, no need to play scared, just got to play their game. As we see here, McWilliams to Twombly. Twombly in the box. Ball at her right foot. Now Twombly making her way in the box. Passed across the goal. Played back. LeConte. Ends up being no danger for the Muskrats as Kent just grabs that shot off the pitch. Pass coming from Balsaric. McWilliams. Kelly Schaefer. Beautifully played ball to the outside. This is Emily Carter. Carter being patient, waiting to see some runs happen in the box. Nice step over. Bonnie Lacey still applying pressure. And once again, Bonnie Lacey looked like a goal kick, but had that wrong. There's going to be a corner kick for the Muskrats. Muskrats applying some very early pressure here against the Torrent defense. 0-0 as the clock just about ticks over to the 9th minute. Short corner by the Muskrats. Ball played in the box and sails over the end line for another Torrent goal kick. Twombly going down after the play, grabbing her ankle, was able to get the pass to Haley Johnson. Dylan Seitz having a quick talk with Olivia Hansen after Hansen caught the ankle of Twombly after Twombly played that ball out to Haley Johnson. Swenson Sends this ball into the box. Headed initially by the Muskrats defense. Ball still bouncing around near the semicircle of the penalty area. Ball sent out now. Kaylee Evers had the ball momentarily, but then sent out of bounds by McWilliams, throwing for the Muskrats. Miscontrolled by Evers. Torrent now with an opportunity for a throw-in, as McWilliams will handle these duties. Some movement from Twombly and Johnson. Johnson brings the ball down. Nicely done. Passes it back to Wojcik, who plays it all the way back and across to Bonnie Lacey. Lacey sends it up. Locante passing this ball out to Higgins. Higgins sending the ball in the box. Instead goes over the end line for a Muskrats goal kick. Bit more active offensively from the Torrent. Torrent playing the ball very quickly today. If we compare that to their game against Bavarian United, they were much more methodical. Trusting the process, taking a little bit more time, looking for clear opportunities. But we're having, it looks to be some breakdown in communication. And as we see there, Hurdle seeing Twombly, but not able to get the ball to her. And not necessarily misplayed, but perhaps misjudged of where Twombly was going to go. And the result is a throw-in for the Muskrats. Seen some very quick play and skilled footwork out there from the Muskrats. Nevertheless, Torrent end up in possession once again, trying to get it over the back line. But Kaylin Smith had other plans as she heads that one out of bounds. But it does give the Torrent a throw-in in a good place. Hurdle this time reading Twombly's run perfectly, but another strong defensive play by Kaylin Smith. Hurdle sends this in the box. Well headed by Filippo. But now on the other side of the field is Lainey Higgins, who will be happy to allow that to go out of bounds. A quick throw-in. Higgins was looking for Locante, but instead ball sent right back out of bounds. Second verse, same as the first. This one, though, sent back to Bonnie Lacey. Lacey looks to send this in the box. Twombly got the beat on that runner, but ball sent just a bit too far. It was actually Haley Johnson on that side of the field. Can hear a little bit of that wind coming through my microphone. Again, wind in favor of the Torrent. Going against the face of the Muskrats. Nice run here. This might be the first time Mickey Easter actually has to use her hands on the ball. All her other possessions have been goal kicks. And here we are in the 14th minute of play, 0-0 here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. Foul called against Locante. Bit of a shove in the back. Right in front of center referee Dylan Seitz. Twombly and Higgins with a nice connection at midfield. Ball now sent back. Swenson sends it across to McWilliams. McWilliams sees Hurdle on the left side, wide open. Hurdle able to get a touch to Johnson, and now Johnson plays it out to Wojcik. Wojcik sends it in. Looking for the feet of Hurdle. Hurdle making that run inside the box, able to win a corner kick for the Torrent. Swenson stepping in, not very far into the box, but Torrent, just to be sure, are keeping two defensive players back, Bonnie Lacey and Shannon McWilliams. On the corner is Hurdle. She sends this in the box, well placed, right above the 6-yard box. Sent out of bounds. Muskrats looking for a counterattack. Torrent does well defensively. Kelly Swenson with a very strong tackle. Deemed clean by the referee and out of bounds. Throw in for the Muskrats. Defensively, Torrent got organized very quickly on that, making sure the Muskrats couldn't stage any type of counterattack. Hurdle on the ball for Milwaukee. To Wojcik. Wojcik in the middle to LeConte. LeConte trying to get past Schaefer, but Schaefer steals the ball. And once again, Muskrats on the Torrent side of the half. This ball played in the middle. Still in the middle. Sent into the Torrent box. And it was a bit too far, but it was a deflection, so this will be a corner kick for the Muskrats.
Or just next goal, next do a read.
Ella Scott handling this corner kick for Muskrats. Scott is actually still a high school player. She will be graduating this year. Very strong player, though, plays her club soccer with Eclipse Elite in Illinois. Sent into the box, headed, and that is a goal for the Muskrats by number 17, Kaylee Evers. Just a few minutes ago, I was mentioning how defensively the Torrent need to communicate better. Well, communicate better all around the field, but especially defensively, and we saw a breakdown there. Evers basically left wide open, no one picking her up. And give credit, of course, to Ella Scott, who played that corner kick, placed it perfectly. So the scoreless streak, or the shutout streak, I should say, is over for Mickey Easter, as in the 18th minute, the Muskrats go up 1-0. Ball sent to the box for Milwaukee. Johnson down, shot just wide of the post. There was a coming together between Olivia Kent and Haley Johnson. Johnson seemed to get the worst of it. She did take a shot to the head. Nothing malicious by that. But nevertheless, that is still going to hurt. Substitution now for the Muskrats. Coming onto the field, Brazil Clark. And taking a break is number 24, Haley Sanders.
FC Milwaukee Torrent here, the Pro Shop, located in the gifted section stand here. With your purchase, you'll have your comfort something in Milwaukee.
Give Evers credit on that goal, by the way. Not only was she great with her run, but made sure that when she hit that ball with her head that it was a strong header. Knew exactly where she wanted to place it. Easter, of course, having no opportunity on that goal whatsoever. Offside against the Muskrats. Well, and we do see why, though Ella Scott is technically still in high school, why she was picked up by the Muskrats. Also see why she has a place on Eclipse Elite in Illinois, one of the stronger club teams in all of the ECNL. ECNL considered the strongest female league, club league, in pretty much all of the United States. I know there will be people that argue with that, but for the majority of people, that is the opinion. Hurdle plays this ball in the middle. LeConte looking for Johnson. Johnson with the shot. In the end, no trouble for Kent as she stands her ground and grabs that ball out of the air. Well, should this score remain the same at half, we know we will hear at least a animated Andy Davi in that locker room. A lot of players from the Muskrats from the Indiana and Illinois areas. Quite a few from Crown Point. Many actually went to Crown Point High School and Valparaiso High School as well. A lot of kickball out there right now. Torrent just not able to make many passes. A lot of balls just being sent right out of bounds. And you'd certainly like to see, defensively at least, them starting to connect more passes, be more patient, and look for those opportunities to move forward rather than trying to force opportunities to move forward. Coming onto the field for Milwaukee as LeConte takes a break is Senya Moyer. Moyer with an assist last game, and we have our first train coming through Hart Park today. Perhaps this train will be a bit of luck for the Torrent as that ball goes out of bounds for a Milwaukee goal kick. Substitutions coming quickly as the heat continues to rise. Coming on now for Muskrats is Emma Rosicki. And taking a break is your goal scorer, Kaylee Evers. Rosicki, another high school player out of Lake Central High School. Schererville, Indiana being her hometown. Moyer plays this out to Higgins. Higgins bringing this ball inside, taking on a player, sends it in the box. Twombly with the header, just over the crossbar, but much better from the Torrent. Nice to see a player be confident and willing to take on a couple of defenders, as we saw from Higgins. And this will be a hydration break. Fair enough, even though it's 85 or 86 degrees in the air, which already is hot compared to what we've had here. On the field, it's only going to be warmer, considering the rubber pallets in the AstroTurf, or field turf, I should say. Just collecting more heat and then sending it back up to the players. Well, not the start that the Torrent would want, and quite frankly, a bit surprising for many of us. Now, the Muskrats came into this game a bit of a mystery. And let's be honest, perhaps the Torrent were coming in a little bit overconfident after getting that 3-0 victory over their crosstown rival, Bavarian United. Always exciting when you win a derby match, but you got to be able to let that result stay where it is, and that is in the past, and treat every opponent with the ultimate respect. Torrent certainly something to fight for today. Officially in the 25th minute, but will more than likely have at least 2, maybe 3 minutes of stoppage at the end of this half. Midwest Select Muskrats SA leading FC Milwaukee Torrent 1-0 this afternoon here at Hart Park. Quick shout outs to my partners today, Kevin O'Connor, your stream producer. Dylan Dooley pulling double duty as he's working the sideline camera and also acting as our PA man. And Ben Sturridge, the man on the main camera today. So thank you to all of them for their work on this Memorial Day. Ball sent in the box once again for the Muskrats. Easter coming out, grabbing it off the floor, making sure there was no more danger. Good run by Brazil Clark on the right side. 2 players down, quickly get up. Good to see. Almost a handball by the Torrent. And easy call right in front of Dylan Seitz. Kelly Schaefer with the foul against Wojcik. Solaric now on the field for Milwaukee Torrent on the left side. Looks like Solaric has replaced Hurdle. Another substitution here for Milwaukee. Miletus coming onto the field, and it looks like Laney Higgins will be taking a break. Higgins with a decent match so far on the right side. She's the one who took on a couple of defenders and gave the Torrent their best opportunity on goal as she played that ball perfectly to Twombly. Twombly hitting it on her head, but sending it over the crossbar. Alex Skinner on the right side for the Muskrats. I believe she either came back on or just, I haven't called her name yet, out of that nutrition break. Kaylin Smith on the ball for the Muskrats. Alex Skinner now looks to send that one in. Twombly gets in the way of it, but ball goes right back into possession of the Muskrats. Muskrats do so well moving this ball quickly around in their offensive third. Granted, that time there it goes out of bounds for a Torrent throw-in, but that's where they have been most dangerous. Making some very quick decisions, almost as if this team has been playing together for a few months with how well they know where each other is going to be. Foul called in favor of the Torrent on the far side of the field. Lacey playing this inside. Balsaric to McWilliams. McWilliams to Solaric. Solaric still on the ball. Nice job shielding. Looking to get the ball back to McWilliams, who uses her only option of sending it forward. Good battle between McWilliams and Emma Razicki. We'll keep our eyes on those two players. Solaric now on the near side for Milwaukee, loses the ball. A lot of midfield exchanges here in the 30th minute of play. Trading off possession, one after the other. And now Muskrats look to move forward. Now on the far side of the field. Ball played inside to Johnson. Trying to do a quick 1-2. Twombly on the ball for Milwaukee. Can she get a foot on it? Yes, she does. Can she keep it in? Yes, she can. And now ball sent out for a corner kick for Milwaukee. Can they make this one count? Milwaukee slowly looking a little more threatening as the clock ticks on. Down 1-0 here in their second game of the 2022 season. Too many twos in that sentence. Couldn't keep track of them. Miletus on the corner. Sends it into the box. Perfectly placed. Saved off the line by the Muskrats as Moyer had a clear shot with her head. And now a great save by Kent. That ball took a deflection almost in midair. It looked like Kent had to change her body position to make sure that didn't go in the back of the goal. But that is much more positive play from the Torrent. Certainly want to continue to see that before this halftime whistle blows. Plenty of time left, at least 14 in regulation. Now foul called against Scott, against Swenson. McWilliams takes this quickly to Solaric. Couple of players up for the Torrent. Ball back to McWilliams. Lacey moves it forward to Moyer. Moyer was a stud of a substitute in that Bavarian United game, and she has certainly, as there was another shot on goal, she has certainly brought some life to the Torrent midfield in this game. Twombly and Johnson still up front for Milwaukee. We'll see if they stay in for the rest of this half. Won't be surprised if we see one of them get subbed as the heat index continues to rise. McWilliams to Wojcik, who sends it right back to McWilliams, who's now sending it back to Wojcik to Solaric. Near side, Solaric being a bit patient. Tries to play the ball into open space, perhaps thinking Twombly or Johnson would run onto that. Instead, it goes directly to Kent. Kent in no hurry to get rid of this ball. Coach Davi wanting his players to step up and shorten the field for the Muskrats. Kelly Swenson steps in as an on-rushing Muskrat player was there. Emily Carter. Muskrats very compact, making life difficult for this Torrent team. Keeper still out of the box. Solaric now applying a little pressure. Kent had to get rid of it. Torrent right back in possession. McWilliams to Johnson. Johnson back to Swenson. Swenson to the inside, now back out to the outside to Bonnie Lacey. Balsaric out to Solaric. Solaric on the near side, makes a cut inside, sends it in the box, right in the middle. Wojcik trying to win that ball, not able to do so, as the Muskrats look to move it up quickly, but Solaric gets a foot in there, steals the ball, now sends it back to McWilliams. You can feel the tension building here for FC Milwaukee Torrent, as that ball will go out of bounds for a Torrent corner kick. And we'll have another substitution here for Milwaukee, as Rebecca Payo will come onto the field. And I believe that might be Twombly making an exit. I could be wrong. We'll wait and see here as we get confirmation of which player that is. And that is Twombly taking a break. Now in the 35th minute of play, Torrent down 1-0. Corner sent into the box, almost an Olympico. Instead, just goes over the crossbar. Not sure if Miletus was actually going for an Olympico, but certainly in the end, almost turned that corner kick into a goal directly from the kick. Foul called against the Torrent near the midfield line. Well, if you're just tuning in, this is FC Milwaukee Torrent hosting Midwest Select Muskrats SA. Team making their debut in the WPSL, and they are up over the Torrent 1-0 thanks to Evers' header in the 18th minute. Corner kick on that one taken by Ellis Scott. So Scott, of course, credited with the assist on the only goal of the game so far. Bonnie Lacey had the ball but misplayed it. Goes right back to the Muskrats. Kelly Swenson, though, able to win that back for Milwaukee. She moves forward as she's got some space. Gets past one player, now sends it out to the right side. This could be a great opportunity for Milwaukee. Ball in the box, shot! Again, over the crossbar. Couple of substitutions here for Milwaukee as McWilliams and Lacey each get a break. Coming onto the field, Katie Swenson and number 15, Caitlin Owens. Owen plays college at UW Milwaukee, and Katie Swenson, Kelly's younger sister, playing at Division III UW Whitewater. And a substitution also for the Muskrats, looks like a injury substitution, as Solana Hernandez comes onto the field for the Muskrats. Walking off on her own volition is 23, Alex Skinner. However, trainers were called over to have a look at her. You wonder with this heat if that's perhaps a bit of dehydration going on with Skinner. So we will keep an eye on that. Wish her well. Just gave a nod to the trainers. Looked like she said she's fine, so that's good to see. Coming right back onto the field after coming off for maybe 3 minutes, Elsie Twombly as well as Lainey Higgins. And coming off the pitch, Haley Johnson and Lola Wojcik. I believe at this point the only player who has not been subbed off for the Torrent is Kelly Swenson, captain of the Torrent. Both head coaches off of their benches, standing, giving direction. Opportunity here for the Torrent. Sent into the middle of the box. Can Solera get to it? She's down on the ground. Still tries to play it. Ball bouncing around. Still bouncing around. Shot goal! Elsie Twombly, 39th minute of play. After much ado about nothing in the box, finally came to fruition. Kent diving all over the place, just trying to get a hand on the ball, but every time she was just about there, a Torrent player would get a touch. And finally, Twombly able to get the ultimate touch. putting that ball in the back of the net and bringing this game back to even 1-1. Goal scored in the 39th minute, but now we are in the 40th minute of regular time in the first half. Teams are taking hydration breaks today, so we'll see at least a couple of minutes of stoppage. But what a great cross into the middle of that box to give the Torrent the opportunity to do something with that ball. And Twombly makes good for her third goal of the season. If you are just tuning in, my name is Simon Provan. Thank you so much for joining us on this live stream. Coming to you from Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, a very hot Hart Park. Torrent just equalized. Muskrat scoring in the 18th minute, and now the Torrent in the 39th. Substitution for the Muskrats. Megan Shaw coming onto the field. Shaw playing college at Purdue Northwest. And taking a break for the Muskrats is number 9, Brazil Clark. By the way, Brazil Clark playing over at Weber International University. She's originally from Orlando, Florida. Welcome once again the Muskrats to the WPSL, their first ever match today, as this is a brand new club founded by Jamie and Alyssa McNicholas. Club plays its home games in St. John, Indiana. Torrent will travel there a little bit later this summer. Quick throw in for the Torrent. Strong win from Moyer. Twombly on the outside of the box sends this in. Keeper misses it. Ball still alive in the box. Players screaming for a handball, and that is called. Dylan Seitz right there in front of that. Many times it's unfortunate as a referee when you are not in line to see what everybody's screaming about, but Seitz in a perfect place to call that handball. It looks like that was Olivia Hansen with the handball for the Muskrats. We're in the 43rd minute. Stepping up is Caitlin Owens. Dylan Seitz with some final checks of where players are standing. Make sure everybody is at least 10 yards away and outside of the box. Owens steps up. Saved by Kent.
Great save.
Not the best of penalty shots, but give credit to Kent to guessing the right way and making sure she had total control of that ball. It was struck very hard, and many times in those positions you see goalkeepers perhaps bobble that first shot, but Kent, total control. Of course, on the other side, Caitlin Owens, you're going to want to put that farther away from the goalkeeper, says Captain Obvious. Score remains 1-1 now in the 44th minute. Muskrats moving a bit up the field. but still another throw-in. After getting the player back in the place where the throw-in was, it looks like perhaps that ball never went in the first place. And Solaric with the throw for Milwaukee. Played back to Balsaric, but a strong win. Torrent right back in possession. Katie Swenson plays that to Locante, who finds Solaric. In the middle of the box, opportunity for Milwaukee. That was actually Payo rather than Locante who had that initial pass. Well, just a few minutes ago, we saw Olivia Kent make an amazing save as Caitlin Owens stepped up for the PK for Milwaukee. Owens drove it hard, but just to the right side of Kent, who was able to hold on to that ball. She did have to leave her feet to make that save, but she has kept this score even at 1-1. And we'll have 3 minutes of stoppage time, which we're already 30 seconds into. Kelly Swenson looking for a handball call. Not called there, but Swenson does pass this ball upfield. On the ball is Higgins. Higgins more of a central role now to Payo. Payo brings this into the box. Still at her feet, crosses it to her left. Shields the ball now, earns a corner kick for the Torrent. Omar Gallo, head coach for the Muskrats, shaking his head after that ball goes out of bounds for a corner kick, wanting to see his players do better rather than give up a corner this late in the first half. 1:15 into stoppage time. Ball sent over everybody now on the far side of the field. Elsie Twombly collects. Can she get past the first defender? She does momentarily, but then Filippo turns right back around and gets possession herself, safely sends it out of bounds. Torrent right back at it. And another corner for Milwaukee. And before this corner can be taken, Muskrats have another substitution. Kaylee Evers, who scored in the 18th minute, returns to the field. And making her exit is number 18, Emily Carter. Dangerous ball here sent in. Muskrats get ahead. Ball still bouncing around. Can Milwaukee turn this one into a goal? No, they cannot, because Dylan Seitz calls a foul in favor of the Muskrats. This may be the last opportunity for Milwaukee. Can they do something with it? Moyer turns around, grabs the ball, now sends it up. Played it up to Miletus, who then plays it to Payo. Out of bounds, throw-in for Milwaukee. Twombly on the ball, in the box, taken down. No foul called. And that will bring us to the end of the first half with a goal in the 18th minute by the Muskrats and a goal by the Torrent in the 39th minute. We end the first half equal 1-1. It's been an exciting first half of play. Lots of substitutions, which is expected with the heat out there. One hydration break. I'm sure we'll take another hydration break in the second half. But for now, as the teams head to the locker room, this WPSL affair sees the teams even, one apiece. We'll do some halftime analysis. Until then, we're going to take a break, and we will see you on the other side. Welcome back to the second half of action here in this WPSL match as FC Milwaukee Torrent host Midwest Select Muskrats SA. Quickly, Torrent applying some quick pressure. Ball in the box. Kent is able to grab it, though, for the Muskrats. Well, my friends, we have failed you. I told you we'd have a halftime analysis. Did not come to fruition. Had to take care of a few things at halftime. And when you're a three-man crew, four-man crew, sometimes you just can't do everything. But that does mean less of my voice, and that's a good thing for everybody. Score is 1-1 here at Hart Park. With this result, should it remain the same, would put Torrent up on 4 points on the season. And for the Muskrats, this would be their single point. This is their very first game. Not just first game of the year, first game ever as a club. Founded earlier this year by Alyssa and Jamie McNicholas. Ball played up. Haley Johnson on the ball for Milwaukee. Plays it back to Higgins. Higgins back to Johnson. Higgins sends this ball in, just goes over the end line. Kent was there if that ball had stayed on goal. But this is better to see from Milwaukee. A little bit more positive soccer in this second half than we saw in the first. Strong defensive play by McWilliams, winning the ball off the feet of the Muskrats forward. Ball sent forward. Opportunity for the Torrent. Balsaric making a few moves. And before she can get that final touch on the ball, Kent comes sliding out of her box and grabbing that ball off the foot of the Torrent forward. It was actually Hurdle on that goal attempt. Can hear from up in the press box, Omar Gallo screaming to his defenders to push up, wanting to shorten this field as well as support the other 9 players upfield. Foul called against Hurdle. Far side of the field. About 10 yards out from the 18. Taking this kick is Olivia Hansen for the Muskrats. Muskrats flooding the center of the box. This ball sent in. Kelly Swenson gets a head on it. Plays it out to Hurdle. Hurdle trying to get up to Twombly. And eventually the ball does get there. Twombly back to Hurdle. Hurdle looking for Haley Johnson down the line. McWilliams wanting to do better with that ball, but sends it out of bounds for a Muskrats throw-in. Wind still blowing the same direction it was in the first half, so now wind going against the Torrent, going with the Muskrats. Torrent were able to get that goal in the first half, but really weren't able to take advantage of having the wind at their backs. We'll see if the Muskrats can do so differently. McWilliams on the ball, plays it up to Twombly. Twombly playing it back to Balsaric. Balsaric all the way on the outside to Bonnie Lacey. Lacey with a nice heel roll. Plays the ball up in the middle of the field. Twombly not able to get there. His ball was a bit short from Wojcik. Lacey with the throw. Really no danger here for the Torrent as Easter calls off Swenson. Easter looking to bring this ball into the box and pick it up with her hands as she does. And she was under pressure from Kylie Evers. Easter with the quick release to her left side to Shannon McWilliams. McWilliams out to Hurdle. A little more patient again from the Torrent in the second half. This ball played out to Higgins. Higgins now looks to play it up. Instead, Kint is there with Locante rushing on. But ball played just a little bit too far forward from Higgins. Again, very hot day out here today. Had a hydration break in the first half. We will certainly have one here in the second half, as the temperature has only risen. Started the game at 83. Temperature now showing 87. And considering the last time we had an 80-degree day was an odd one, I want to say back in February perhaps, which was a really odd day to have 80 degrees. So while in many parts of the country an 87-degree day may just be normal, certainly up here when it's been in the 60s and even the 50s, these surprisingly hot days can certainly zap you of energy quicker than you realize. Johnson up to Twombly. No foul on the play. Twombly not able to keep it in bounds, though. Goes out of bounds for Midwest Select. By the way, the SA in Midwest Select Muskrats SA simply stands for Soccer Academy. And part of the reason the name is there is, along with playing in the WPSL, the Muskrats will be hosting camps for youth players with, I'm assuming, the coaches of the Muskrats, and for the players that are still available, rather than those who aren't because they got to go back to college, will also partake in coaching those camps, helping out with those camps. Ball sent in by LeConte. Ball in the box. Hurdle trying to get to it, not able to, but Balsaric in the middle of the field does get control. Now plays it back to McWilliams. McWilliams to Higgins. Sorry, Wojcik. And Higgins now on the outside of the box. Plays it in, trying to beat Kint near post. But Kint answers the call. From the little bit that we've seen from Kint today here in the 55th minute of play, at least on the day, certainly going to take something special to get a ball past her. Reads the play incredibly well. Strong communication with her back line. And just even watching her body posture, even with the ball downfield, she is walking back and forth, tracking this ball, making sure that if there's any lull in the game whatsoever, she's not going to allow her concentration to break. Twombly now on the outside of the box. Cuts it to her left, still on her left, sends it in the middle. Ball bouncing around once again. Hurdle trying to get on the end of that. A bit misjudged, and we did have a couple of players go down from each team, and the player still down for the Muskrats in the box. Trainer's being called out. Difficult to see who this is. It is either Filippo or Kelly Schaefer. I do believe it is Kelly Schaefer, as I now see Filippo walking towards her bench with the rest of her team. As both teams run to their bench to get some water, get some instructions. I did see Schaefer get tangled up with a player from the Torrent. I think that may have been Locante that was in that entanglement. And of course, whoever the Torrent player was, they were able to get up. Even saw them complain a bit to the center referee. I'm not sure there was much in that would warrant another PK for the Torrent. But certainly hope that Kelly Schaefer in the end will be okay. And now she is standing, walking off the field. That's always good to see. And see trainer Paige Borst out there with the Muskrats player. Borst, a long-time trainer now with the Milwaukee Torrent. And substitution coming in for the injured Kelly Schaefer is number 7, Solana Hernandez. Hernandez, only a junior in high school, goes to Homewood Flossmoor High School. She's in the class of 2023, but don't let that fool you. 10 goals in her career, along with 6 assists. And earlier this year, this month actually, the week of May 9th, she was named Max Prep Sports Player of the Game. Again, that's number 7, Solana Hernandez. Nice move by Higgins, playing a bit of a central defensive role, actually central attacking role. Ball on the far side. This is Hurdle. Hurdle trying to get past her player, not able to do so, but does win a corner for the Torrent. And before this corner is taken, we will have a substitution for Milwaukee as Moyer returns to the field. Coming on for LeConte. Moyer did have a beautiful assist last game. She's a freshman at UW Milwaukee. Referee, quick discussion. A little bit of, actually it was not a discussion. A second ball was on the field. Well, you certainly wanted to do better that with a corner kick rather than just sending it directly out of bounds. But this does result, obviously, in a goal kick for Kent. And from Kent, ball goes all the way to the other side of the field to Mickey Easter. Foul called against Hernandez. And now a yellow card will be issued to number 17, Kaylee Evers. Mistake, my mistake. It's actually number 27, Emma Rizicki. Swenson wanted to play that ball quickly as she put the ball down. Rizicki, however, stepped right in front of it, preventing that, which of course resulted in that caution for not giving Swenson the 10 yards necessary on a free kick. That's in the 61st minute, by the way.
Good out, good out.
Throw in for the Torrent after that free kick. Higgins with the throw, plays it back to Lacey, who steps forward. Sends this ball to the top. Twombly, Johnson actually trying to scissor that ball towards goal, instead misplays it. And now a foul called against Hurdle. Far side of the field, back in the defensive end of Muskrats. Kelly Swenson, time in front of her, space in front of her. Misplays that ball, sent a little too far forward. All right, let's be honest, a lot far forward. As Emily Carter got a touch on that ball, trying to send it up towards her forwards, but instead went right to Mickey Easter. Easter sends this ball near midfield where Carter gets ahead on it. Ball sent to the far side, right back to Carter. Carter trying to bring this in the box, slips as she looks for the cross. And Shannon McWilliams is there for the Torrent. McWilliams looking downfield, plays it to Hurdle. Hurdle on the far side, waiting for Johnson to make that move, and instead Hurdle with a nice cut towards her left foot. Not able to complete the pass. Muskrats back in possession once again. Muskrats looking to move downfield as quickly as possible. Instead, the touch line gets in the way, and it's a throw-in for the Torrent. If you are just tuning in, thanks for joining us today on this FC Milwaukee Torrent live stream. My name is Simon Provan. So pleased to have you here with us. Coming to you from Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. We are in the 64th minute of play. The score is 1-1 as both sides got a goal in the first half. Muskrats with their goal by Evers in the 18th minute. Elsie Twombly, her third goal of the year, first of the game, in the 39th minute. Torrent did have an opportunity to go up off of a PK, but Olivia Kent made a great save. Bonnie Lacey with the throw-in for Milwaukee. Anyways, Caitlin Owen stepped up to take that corner. Hit it strong, but hit it very near Kent, who guessed the right way. Didn't bobble that ball. Keeping the score at 1-1, and that is where we remain. Torrent with plenty of space in front of them. Now may have an opportunity. Well played ball by Moyer. Haley Johnson on the run. Kent gets there first, however, and sends this forward where Bonnie Johnson heads it forward. Higgins got past her first defender, still on the ball, now plays it to Haley Johnson. Johnson in the box. Johnson looks up, plays it all the way to Hurdle. Hurdle in the box on the opposite side, takes a shot with her left foot. And Olivia Kent grabs that ball out of the air. Hurdle with a strong shot. Maybe Should have looked to cross that one. She had a couple of options right in front of the goal. However, I also think she saw Kent playing a bit far off the line and tried to catch her, aiming for that far post. Well, I'll tell you what, Gallo, head coach of the Muskrats, has not sat down for more than a second, if at all, in this second half. Constantly yelling out instructions to his players, wanting everybody to move together. Reminded me of that old Dutch total football that the great teams of Johan Cruyff had in the Netherlands. Balsaric plays this out to McWilliams. McWilliams sees Hurdle, able to get it to her. Hurdle keeps it in bounds. Now Hurdle plays this back to Wojcik. Wojcik in the middle to Moyer. Moyer has a shot if she wants it, and she does. Oh my goodness, just outside of the goal. Great shot from Moyer. And after that shot, Moyer will take a break, as Miletus will come on to play that central midfield position. Unless, of course, things do get changed around.
Number 24, Haley Sanders. Number 9, Brazil Clark.
Coming on for the Muskrats, number 9,
Number 19,
Brazil Clark, as well as number 24, Haley Sanders. Taking a break for the Muskrats, number 11. And number 18, Emily Carter. There's actually Kaylee Evers returning for the Muskrats. Foul called against the Torrent. Kent sending this forward. Moyer, who had that wonderful attempt on goal just about 30 seconds ago, misplays that one, goes out of bounds, and that leads to our second half hydration break. Well, the Torrent have certainly pressured a lot more in the start of this second half than we saw in the first half. Olivia Kent, goalkeeper for the Muskrats, certainly keeping Midwest Select in this match. Number of good saves on her behalf. Moyer with a shot that was probably about 28 yards from the goal. Struck it really well, just went wide of the goal. Kent was there in the air, laying herself out. I'm not sure, though, that she would have gotten to that one had it curved just a little bit. But the what-ifs don't matter. What does matter is the scoreboard at the moment. Reading Milwaukee Torrent 1, Muskrats 1.
Sullivan is coming in. Prater in the Medical College of
Very creative team this Muskrats team is. Brand new to the WPSL, so a bit of a mystery of how they were going to play. Great communication from them. A lot of good passes. They are struggling in the second half to mount any type of offensive threat, though. So you wonder if the heat is getting to them or if perhaps the Torrent is starting to figure out what the Muskrats are bringing to this game. And as we head back out to the field after that 2-minute hydration break, it'll start with the Muskrats throw-in. Emma Rizicki will handle the throw-in. Rizicki with a yellow card in the 61st minute today. Caution given for preventing a quick restart by the Torrent. Muskrats with some nice one-touch combination play here between Filippo and Clark. Thankfully, if you're a Torrent fan, didn't amount to anything in the end. And Moyer wins this ball in the middle of the park, where McWilliams sends it downfield. Bonnie Lacey on the ball for the Torrent. Plays it to her left to Swenson. Swenson looks upfield, doesn't see much in the way of options, tries to play it wide to Hurdle. Hurdle once again keeping this ball in bounds. That's about the second or third time today that she's been able to do that. Haley Johnson on the run for Milwaukee. Couple of step overs in the box, right-footed shot. Kint with the initial save. Twombly there. Can she get it? No, she can't. Follow-up was had by Miletus, but Miletus not able to get on it. And instead, that was Filippo who sent that ball outside of the box. Another substitution here for Midwest Select. Coming onto the field is number 26, Sydney Dragos. And taking a break is Rizicki. Dragos playing her college ball at Indiana University Northwest. She is also a teammate of Kelly Schaefer, who goes to the same school. And it's almost like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, as Schaefer was a high school teammate of Olivia Small, number 10 on the Muskrats. I think it's one of the reasons that you see a team that so young in its existence, yet already having great chemistry between its players, is quite a few of these players that either play together at the college level or have played together at the high school level. So you find some built-in chemistry because of that with the WPSL team. One thing you can never discount is the way players can play together, knowing where each other's going to be. Torrent does have that advantage as well, if they've got so many players that play together either at Marquette or UW Milwaukee. And a number of these players know each other well. Certainly looked like a handball, not called. That was Kaylin Smith. Went to head the ball, instead it bounced off her hand. Dylan Seitz seen it as incidental. And now a foul called. No, this will be offside. And now head coach Andy Davi will be given a yellow card for dissension. And Davi, knowing to get temperamental at times, has to be careful the rest of the way. But obviously not a fan of that call, which I actually don't think it was a foul call. It was an offside call. And Davi's still pacing back and forth on the field for Milwaukee now is Lola Wojcik. Swanson with the header. McWilliams shielding this ball so Easter can simply get possession of it, and now quickly plays it out to McWilliams. Shannon plays this out to Mia Hurdle. Back to McWilliams. Lacey all alone on this near side. Torrent throwing. Miletus with the throw. Plays it up to Twombly. Twombly near the touchline, trying to get past two defenders, not able to, but the ball does go out of bounds. Bonnie Lacey with the quick throw-in. Lacey to Moyer. Moyer with a nice spin. Gets past one player, now sends it in the box. Johnson is there. Johnson brings it down to Twombly. Twombly, left-footed shot. No! That goes over the crossbar as well. Twombly getting injured on the play. Grabbing her ankle, trying to stretch it out. Well, that certainly looked like that may have been the second goal for the Torrent. Moyer showing some fantastic skill in there, however, with a quick turn and putting a lovely ball just over the back line, giving Johnson and Twombly the opportunity to perhaps put that in the back of the net. As it wasn't, the score remains 1-1. Foul called against Wojcik. Moyer trying to head this forward. Instead, it goes backwards. McWilliams, though, in control of the ball. Now Bonnie Lacey. Bonnie playing it all the way back to her goalkeeper, Easter, as Lacey was under pressure by Brazil Clark. Foul called against number 9, Lola Wojcik. Dylan Seitz waiting to see if the Muskrats would get an advantage from that, and after realizing that they wouldn't, then blew his whistle and called back the foul. This could be a dangerous spot for the Muskrats. Torrent are going to have to be very careful. One of the reasons they got a goal scored against them was some mismanagement in man marking. Certainly need to know their responsibilities on this free kick. Ball sent in. Players going down in the box. 3 for the Muskrats. No fouls called. Everybody getting up a bit gingerly. Everybody seems to be no worse for the wear. Throwing for the Muskrats. With the way the Muskrats are lining up, they're going to treat this just like a corner. Kelly Swenson with a touch. Skips past her foot. Thankfully, Mickey Easter was there for the Torrent. Otherwise, that would have been an own goal by Kelly Swenson. And how about that throw-in from the Muskrats?
Stop, girl. Stop.
Haley Sanders, by the way, with that long throw for the Muskrats. So now you see that the Muskrats can treat any throw-in that is in line with the box as almost like a corner kick, with Haley Sanders taking those throw-ins. Only time of the game that Kent has bobbled a ball. Nobody there following up. Twombly recognizing the bobble and started to run in there. But you certainly got to put that goalkeeper under pressure when those long balls come flying in.
Go, go, go!
Swenson with the touch, plays it forward. This to Miletus. Miletus on the ball, sends it towards goal. Kint pushes it to her right. And another foul called against the Torrent. This one inside the Muskrats box. Now in the 81st minute of play, score remains 1-1. Well, I think if you're the Muskrats playing your first WPSL game ever, you'll be happy with an away point. If you're the Torrent after their 3-0 win over Bavarian United, well, not to be Captain Obvious again, but you're going to be disappointed if this game ends 1-1. If this game ends any other way than a win for the Torrent. Yellow card issued here in the 82nd minute to number 19, Alexa Miletus. So 3 yellow cards on the day. 1 to Rizicki of the Muskrats. This one here to Miletus, and earlier in the game to head coach Andy Davi of the Torrent. Haley Johnson able to get over one player, hoping to get back, but not able to as she slips on the turf. But Bonnie Lacey wins this back for the Torrent. Johnson with another opportunity. Johnson still on the ball. Moyer on the ball. So good with her passing, and now Twombly on this near side. Cuts it into the box, gets past one player. Twombly still on the ball. Looks to tow it into the far side, not able to do so. Hurdle trying to race this down before it goes out of bounds. That has almost, well, that has been her specialty all day today. And this ball is still in. Hurdle thought it was out. And now a goal kick for the Muskrats. Hurdle stopped playing as if she thought the ball was out. And everybody else looked down the line and saw that the far side AR had never put his flag up. Goal kick taken by the Muskrats. Players starting to look a bit winded out there. Won't be surprised if we see some substitutions here soon. Granted, there's only about 6.5 minutes left in regulation before stoppage. We are guaranteed to have at least 2 minutes of stoppage with the hydration break that was taken. Kevin O'Connor's guessing 4. I think 4 might be good, Kevin. I agree with you on that one. For sure 3. I would say for sure 3. I don't know, we should put something on the line for this. All right, we're putting a quarter. Canadian or American? Hurdle on the far side. Trying to get her way past number 23, Alex Skinner. Not able to do so as the ball goes out of bounds. Emily Carter will soon be returning to the pitch for the Muskrats. And now that substitution will happen. 85th minute of play. Dylan Seitz managing the game well. Haley Sanders, as she was coming off to the field, was running to midfield, and Seitz did what the new rule says to do, and that is get the player off the closest area of exit. Turned around and had Sanders leave the far side of the field. It's all to help prevent time wasting, teams using substitutions to just kill the clock. Speaking of the clock, we are in the 86th minute. Corner kick here for the Torrent. Can they steal a win with this corner kick? One thing is certain, I think this Muskrats team is going to be one that has to be watched in the Lake Michigan division. In the WPSL, ball in, Kent gets a hand on it, and now a foul called against the Torrent. Lots of whistles here in the last 10 minutes that have been played. I do have to say, looking back on the replay, I'm not quite sure what the foul was. However, it might not matter here in the end. Haley Johnson in the box. And now a corner kick for Milwaukee. Second corner kick in a matter of 40 seconds. Looked as if they were going to play it short. Instead, Haley Johnson will go back into the box as Miletus. And one more change of player. Miletus now going into the box. And Mia Hurdle, who takes a lot of the corners for the Torrent on this side of the field, steps up to take this one. Will the Torrent play it short? No, they won't. It's sent into the box. Moyer gets ahead. Kelly Swenson with a final touch. Ends up being no problem at all for the Muskrats. Substitution coming soon for the Muskrats as Kaylee Evers will return for the final minutes of play here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. FC Milwaukee Torrent hosting Midwest Select Muskrats SA on this fine Memorial Day. What a beautiful way to celebrate those who have given all in order for us to have the freedom, such as being out here on a beautiful day watching WPSL soccer. As the Muskrats make another substitution, as I had mentioned, Kaylee Evers coming on. Coming off the field is Brazil Clark. Very active player today, especially in the middle of the field. Shannon McWilliams tracing this ball back, and as soon as it goes out of bounds, she grabs it. Thought perhaps there'd be a quick throw, but there's not. But we now are in the 89th minute of play. Waiting to find out what our stoppage time will be. Wide open is Wojcik. Miletus on the far side of the box sends it in. Olivia Kent reading every single cross into the box. Honestly, if I'm to name a player of the match, Olivia Kent gets my nod. And really, other than the goal that the Muskrats have scored, which really Mickey Easter had no opportunity on, she has not been that busy today. 5 minutes of stoppage time. So neither I nor Kevin O'Connor will get a Canadian quarter today. Plenty of time for either of these teams to walk away with 3 points. Just a few seconds away from stoppage. And now the clock ticks over to 90, so officially 5 minutes left in this game, or at least 5 minutes, I should say, is the correct language. Opportunity here. Is there going to be a foul call? No call there. And I think that was a fair no call, just a good defensive play. And now from a dangerous spot, foul called in favor of the Torrent just outside the 18 as Twombly was in the air and thrown to the ground. Can Milwaukee do it here? Every single player is up for the Torrent, minus Easter, the goalkeeper. And every single player for the Muskrats is back. 5-person wall. Dylan Seitz given the appropriate 10 yards. Will this be a shot on goal? Will it be a lofted ball into the box? My money's on a shot on goal, trying to lift it over to the wall. Depends on who's taking it. Will it be Kelly Swenson? Will it be Elsie Twombly? A couple of substitutes lined up, but not being allowed in the field. Although it looks like the Muskrats are being allowed their substitution. Coming off the field is Emma Rosicki. I'm sorry, Emma Rosicki going onto the field. Coming off the field is Sydney Dragos. Twombly on the ground. Goal! Milwaukee Torrent. Twombly played that into the box. I do believe it took a touch off of another player. We will get confirmation of who it was that scored in just a little bit. And we are going with Twombly as having scored that goal. So Twombly, in back-to-back games, gets a brace. A flurry of substitutions happening now. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, but what I do know is that FC Milwaukee Torrent take this lead very late, up 2-1. After a very low shot, I thought perhaps that was going to be lifted over the wall, and perhaps that's what Olivia Kint thought as well. Instead, it was played hard on the ground. And Twombly slots that under a number of people, including Kint, and puts the Torrent up 2-1. So Twombly, with her 4th goal of the season, easily the leading goal scorer for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Substitution now for Milwaukee as they look to secure this victory and take some time off the clock with the substitution. Coming on to the field is Caitlin Owens. Coming off is Haley Johnson. Johnson, a lot of leg work today. A lot of runs off the ball, a lot of runs with the ball. Haley Johnson, a star player at UW Milwaukee. She'll be playing in her final season this fall in her 5th year at Milwaukee. And of course, because of the shortened COVID season, many players are being allowed to play a 5th year if they so choose to stay in school. Sounds like we will have an additional 2 minutes to the first 5 minutes of stoppage. In the corner trying to kill off time is Lainey Higgins. Ball goes out of bounds. Torrent will certainly take their time. Another substitution for Milwaukee coming onto the field. The back of her shirt says Sprecher, but that was from a player last season. This is actually Rebecca Payo. Seen more action today as she was on the field in the first half as well. Now Bonnie Lacey with the throw, and again, taking her time, trying to take as much time off the clock as possible. Torrent looking to just keep this in the corner. Ball kept in. What will the AR decide? Actually, center ref Dylan Seitz says this is a corner kick for Milwaukee. According to our clock in the stadium, less than a minute left to play. I imagine Torrent will make this a very short corner and just keep possession in the corner. And that's exactly what we see. Twombly taken down. I won't be surprised if this is a yellow. No yellow there. The reason I thought there may have been is that looked like intent was simply just to take out Twombly. Another foul called. Well, with 20 seconds left according to our clock, I think we'll see this game end with the ball in the corner. Higgins now doing her best. Ball goes out of bounds for a throw-in. Getting a bit comical here at the end with just kicking it in, throwing it in, keeping it in the corner, and Muskrat's kicking it right back out. Twombly looking as if she was going to make a move at goal. Now keeps it in the corner. Goes out of bounds, and that will be it. Almost at the death knell. FC Milwaukee Torrent end up winning this one 2-1, keeping their record perfect in the WPSL. 2 wins, no draws, no losses. A very good performance from the Muskrats in their very first game in the WPSL. Give them tons of credit. They were definitely the better team in most of the first half. Torrent started to come alive, and Muskrats still made it a game in the second half. Special shout out to their goalkeeper, Olivia Kent. Fantastic game from the Quincy University player. You can see why she continues to be the #1 goalkeeper at Quincy University. What a performance today from both teams on this very hot day in 90-plus minutes. Torrent eke out a win thanks to 2 goals by Elsie Twombly. Twombly now with back-to-back games with braces. And as I said, a perfect record for the Milwaukee Torrent. Well, Torrent fans, make sure you come back here on June 4th. That's this Saturday, as the men's side will be in action. Men playing at 7 o'clock on June 4th. Looking at the schedule ahead for the women, they actually travel now to visit the Midwest Select SA Muskrats. That game Friday, June 10th, so the women have quite a break here before getting back to the pitch. That game at Lake Central High School in St. John, Indiana. Torrent will next be at home. Well, it's going to be a couple of weeks, but we will see them June 12th playing against the Chicago Kicks Football Club. The Kicks tied with Bavarian United last week in their first game. But again, that game is June 12th at 3 p.m. here at Hart Park. The next time we will see the women at home. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, my name is Simon Provan on behalf of Kevin O'Connor, Dylan Dooley, Ben Sturridge, and of course, owner and coach of the women's team, Andy Davi. We thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations to the Torrent women on starting the season perfect. We will see you next time. Until then, be well and happy.